how to build an application from scratch in 2026. So this is an updated workflow where we will be using Vibecode, Mobbin, Claude code as well as IdeaBrowser as the main example framework, and we will create the application in like around less than 30 minutes. So I will tell you an example and then you can also give it a try. So starting off, the old workflow was something like you have an idea, you create a design in Figma, you then code it, you debug it and then ship it. If you like, it takes around 3 or even more months based on the complexity of the application or the structure of the thing. But the new workflow is basically you start with the idea, you create a PRD using Claude code, documentation, or planning using Opus 4.5. You use Mobbin to create a interface or use the flow that has already existed and is totally viable in the current market. Then you use Vibecode to create the whole application from scratch in with just one prompt. So let's come back to the how basically it will work. So step one is the planning part. You create a PRD to first step is Claude code. Basically, you create a planning, you create a PRD, user flow, features as well as the edge cases. Then secondly, you come to the Mobbin to get the idea of how the interface or the UI references that you like. You can basically download it. That is fully tested in the current market, and you use Vibecode to feed the PRD as well as the image reference, Mobbin reference to generate a fully functional front end as well as the back end for the application. Now, coming back to the idea browser, we are going to take the example of the idea of the day. We are going to take an example that is the idea of the day to create a career platform where college athletes like only 2% of the college athletes are like get a job or have a career opportunity, but what about the 98% that are left out? So this idea is basically that we are trying to create an advantage for the college athletes that do not have a lot of opportunities once they do not succeed. So how can we do that? So basically this is the context or the reference that we will be using to generate a PRD. So using Claude Code, we will first of all provide it a like brief summary of what we are looking for. So we are trying to create a comprehensive PRD using the title as well as like create user flow as well as MVP, edge cases, as well as the component breakdown in a database using database schema. We are trying to create a context. We have provided the context that is this with all the market conditions as well as the execution flow. Now, it will take some time to create a like comprehensive document. There will be two things that you can use. First will be the docs, then the second thing will be the prd.md. Now, docs is more important from a human perspective because they need to understand what is totally happening with the context that you have provided. So you can use the docs to basically understand what you are trying to build, and the .md file will basically be the context that the LLM model understands on what basically they are trying to build. Docs is human as and the prd.md is the like coding agent or whatever you are using to create a contextual like output based on that. So this is the human, like you can basically go through and read everything. If you don't like anything, you can basically cross-reference that and try to say to Claude, like, I don't like this part. You need to add it on the basis of market research or like test cases, use cases, and different stuff. Now, coming back to the .md, basically this is the prompt that basically we basically will be using this as the main output based on like input for the Vibecode for Vibecode.this. So for reference, basically I provided one second. So for reference, I basically downloaded the Mobbin handshake dot one second. So so basically I went through and searched about career. And this was the first thing that I liked a lot. Like the user flow and everything is totally like what I will be going forward for. No, not this one, my bad. So, hmm, So basically, I use this as the main reference or the images that basically I use the flow in the same format that I wanted the output in. So I provided the context as well as the images as reference, and this basically one-shotted the whole thing. You just, one second, let me go to the top. So as you can see, let me just show the whole thing. So basically, what you can do is, let me start from the top. As you can see, this is the whole prompt that you can provide, and it will basically one shot the whole thing. So next chapter, basically, this is the whole thing. You just copy this, provide this, paste this here, and then below you provide all the images that you have gotten, like you are going to use, like the flow and everything. You add simple details that basically refine the output that you want, and you will get something like this. I will show this in like after this. Basically, it took me one prompt to basically create all the interface, and the second thing after that was to basically the connection or the buttons, few interactions were missing. So in the second prompt, I basically refined the whole thing. Now, coming back, coming below, I will basically show you the thing. So here are all the images I have attached as reference for creating a design. Basically, the prompt you can give here is for creating a design of the interface, please refer to the below images from onboarding 0 to onboarding 7.1 as a flow of the app. Basically, this is the flow of the app that I'm talking about. So these are the flow of the app that I'm talking about. So it basically went and created the whole thing from the similar like design style that I have referenced. So this was the first, basically the thing that it created. I think it took around like 30 minutes or something to come up with